Today is Friday, November 14th. We're talking about how long it will take for things like paychecks and SNAP benefits to get back to normal now that the government shutdown is over. Also, more revelations from Jeffrey Epstein's emails, and which city is expected to be the next target for an immigration sweep. Plus, why a billionaire who pleaded guilty to insider trading just got a presidential pardon. How new AI features could totally change the way people shop this holiday season. And what kind of games just launched on Netflix. Those stories and even more news to know coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history may have ended, but it could take days, if not weeks or more, before things are back to normal. So far, agencies have reopened, hundreds of thousands of federal employees have returned to work, and federal courts resumed their normal dockets. But payroll systems are still being updated to pay out weeks of back wages. Federal employees could start getting their money as soon as tomorrow, with most getting it by next week. SNAP food aid payments will return to their normal payment cycles, but how long that will take depends on the state. Some states have already said they may need as long as a week. Elsewhere in the government, backlogs of grant disbursements, loan applications, and customer calls that have gone unanswered for 43 days need to be cleared. Delayed environmental permits, workplace inspections, and contracting activities have piled up. And national parks have a lot of cleaning and maintenance to catch up on. The shutdown's effects on travel are expected to improve, but officials say it could take at least a few days. Just yesterday, more than 1,000 flights were still canceled. Meanwhile, in Congress, the debate has continued on healthcare costs since there's supposed to be a vote on healthcare subsidies by the middle of next month. And then the next shutdown threat is right around the corner, since the deal Congress passed and President Trump signed this week only funds much of the government through the end of January. To hear more about the ongoing fallout of this latest shutdown, tune in tomorrow for our special edition Saturday episode. The public has continued to dig through the thousands of pages of emails sent by sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that were released this week. And with that, more revelations have come to light. We already told you about how Epstein mentioned President Trump multiple times, saying Trump, quote, knew about the girls, among other things. Well, it wasn't just Trump who was named. For example, Epstein also received emails from someone he had saved as the Duke, which is likely the man formerly known as Britain's Prince Andrew. The Duke asked Epstein how he was going to respond to tabloids asking about his involvement in the scandal. And Epstein talked about getting a reporter to investigate the woman who accused Andrew of abuse. In another email, Epstein reached out to the Russian government before President Trump had a meeting with Russian President Putin back in 2018, and Epstein suggested Russian officials should get his insights on Trump. Later that year, Epstein, talking about Trump, said, quote, I am the one able to take him down. Though remember, Epstein also wrote in an email that Trump never got a massage, likely referencing the sexual abuse. In another conversation, Epstein said former President Bill Clinton was never on his private island, where much of Epstein's abuse happened. Both Trump and Clinton have always insisted they did nothing wrong or illegal with Epstein. More Epstein files could still be coming, since lawmakers plan to vote on a measure to compel the Justice Department to release all of them. So, to be continued. The Trump administration is facing another legal setback of its immigration crackdown in Chicago. This week, a federal judge ordered the release of more than 300 people within the next week. As the judge put it, quote, it seems highly unlikely that they're drug traffickers or gang members or the assorted ne'er-do-wells ICE has claimed they are. They were all detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents over the last few months, but could walk free by next weekend. The first detainees could be released as soon as today. Also by today, the Homeland Security Department has been ordered to hand over documents showing the status of more than 600 people ICE agents arrested without a warrant. Reports say this could create a template for more legal action around the country, though the federal government could still appeal. Meanwhile, the crackdown is still active in the Chicago area. And other cities are bracing for similar operations. One sheriff said the Trump administration's next target is Charlotte, North Carolina, and he said it could begin as soon as tomorrow or early next week. Like the other cities that have been targeted, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., Charlotte is a Democratic stronghold, and it's home to more than 150,000 foreign-born people. But for now, the Homeland Security Department won't confirm one way or another. But activists, faith leaders, and local and state officials say they're already preparing. It seems Canadians are keeping up their efforts to boycott the U.S. New data shows air travel from Canada into the U.S. dropped last month by nearly 24%, and car travel was down by more than 30%. This decline has lasted 10 straight months now in the face of tensions over President Trump's tariffs on Canadian goods and overall rhetoric toward the country. At the same time, Canada's tourism sector has gotten a big boost from Canadians choosing to explore their own country instead. Now, some popular American destinations are trying to entice Canadians back. For example, at the home of Glacier National Park in Montana, officials have been offering a Canadian welcome pass that includes deals and discounts at local businesses for anyone who crosses the border. We have more news for you still coming up, but first, a break for our sponsor. When the weather cools down, it becomes even more important to me that I feel cozy. It's just that time of year when comfort and those rituals become even more impactful. Well, the right pajamas play a big role in that, and that's why I've been loving my Skims pajama set. The first thing I noticed was the fabric. It's really soft in a way that instantly makes me feel calm and comfortable, and even cute since they have these great matching sets. The latest Skims pajama set I got has a playful holiday print, so it honestly brings that extra festive feeling into the season already. And with women's, men's, kids, and even pet pajamas, Skims makes it really easy to check off a lot of people on your holiday list at once. So shop my favorite pajamas at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for everyone on your list, the Skims holiday shop is now open at skims.com. Now back to the news. Jeff Bezos' space company, Blue Origin, launched its first NASA mission this week. It launched its New Glenn rocket, carrying 2 NASA satellites that will fly to Mars and study the red planet's atmosphere. They should make it in 2027. Blue Origin also landed its rocket booster, which it wasn't able to do when the rocket first launched earlier this year. Pulling off the landing is critical so the company can start reusing boosters. That will help it launch more flights and better challenge SpaceX, that's been reusing boosters for years, landing them hundreds of times. Up next for Blue Origin's New Glenn includes flights for Amazon's satellite internet fleet, as well as several national security missions for the Pentagon. President Trump has decided to pardon a British billionaire who is best known for owning the Tottenham Hotspur Soccer Club. Joe Lewis pleaded guilty to insider trading and conspiracy charges last year. He was not sentenced to prison, but was fined $5 million and given 3 years probation. Then this year, Lewis reportedly requested a pardon so he could get medical treatment and visit his grandchildren and great-grandchildren in the U.S. And Trump apparently signed off this week. Lewis responded to say, quote, "I am pleased all of this is now behind me and I can enjoy retirement." The U.S. Justice Department is now suing California over its new voting maps. As we told you earlier this month, California voters approved a ballot measure adopting new congressional districts meant to benefit Democrats in the midterms. It's supposed to be a counterweight to Republican efforts to get more seats in places like Texas. But the DOJ says California illegally drew the district lines to favor Hispanic voters. So U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi focused just on California yesterday, saying the state's, quote, redistricting scheme is a brazen power grab that tramples on civil rights and mocks the democratic process. A spokesperson for California Governor Gavin Newsom responded by saying, quote, these losers lost at the ballot box and soon they will also lose in court. Meanwhile, Texas's new map, meant to favor Republicans, is being challenged by civil rights groups. Judges are expected to issue an order soon in that case. Google is rolling out a bunch of new updates just ahead of peak holiday shopping season. It's basically turning its Gemini artificial intelligence into a personal shopper with tools that can search, compare products, call stores, and even buy gifts for you. You have to use AI mode on Google search and describe what you want. And with that, you'll get shoppable images, side-by-side comparisons, and more. In the Gemini app, you can do more like brainstorm, browse, and buy with AI-generated lists, prices, and links to retailers. With Let Google Call, the technology will contact nearby stores to check prices and stock, then text or email you what it found. And you can tell Google to buy an item automatically once it hits a target price, starting with retailers like Wayfair, Chewy, and one of our podcast sponsors, Quince. All the new features are available now. Amazon and OpenAI have released their own AI-powered shopping tools already. AI and online agents are expected to be involved in 22% of all orders placed from the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday. Netflix decided to expand its foray into TV gaming 4 years after the streaming giant first tested out games. But this time, Netflix is releasing games people already know how to play and can play with family. For example, Pictionary, Boggle, Tetris, and others. And people won't have to download an app for each game. Each person will be able to play on the Netflix app with their smartphone basically working as a controller, and the game itself can be playable on your TV. Meanwhile, Disney says it's also looking into integrating game-like features into Disney+, and Amazon just sent an email out to Prime subscribers reminding them of their access to the gaming service Luna that lets you play games like Taboo and Angry Birds. As for Netflix, many more games are expected to come out soon. Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel-good or positive news story before the weekend. But first, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. Well, this time of year gets busy fast. Travel, events, eating on the go, it all adds up. So I find myself craving simple rituals that make me feel like I'm actually taking care of myself still. For me, one of those rituals is my OneSkin routine. Their face moisturizer has become a staple, and lately my favorite part has been their brand new peptide lip mask. We cannot forget about our lips, especially as the weather gets colder and the air gets drier, so this is a must-have. It's smooth, rich, and instantly soothing, and I can feel the difference, especially when I wear it overnight. At the heart of every OneSkin formula is their patented OS1 peptide. And OneSkin has been certified safe for sensitive skin. Their products are free from over 1,500 harsh or irritating ingredients, dermatologist tested, and have been awarded the National Eczema Association Seal of Acceptance. And heads up, because OneSkin just launched their limited edition holiday sets, including the Nightly Rewind gift set. It has their best-selling face moisturizer, their brand new peptide lip mask that I love, and more, helping renew skin at the cellular level. So for a limited time, try OneSkin for 15% off using the code newsworthy at oneskin.co/newsworthy. That's oneskin.co/newsworthy. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you've heard about them, so please support our show and tell them we sent you. Now back to Feel Good Friday. And today we're talking about a poet and a former inmate who's now creating libraries and promoting reading to change the lives of prisoners all around the country. Reginald Dwayne Betts spent nearly a decade in prison for stealing a car when he was 16. And that's where Betts first discovered his love of books. When Betts got out, he earned his bachelor's degree, then a law degree. He became a poet and an advocate for prison reform. He also won prestigious Guggenheim and MacArthur fellowships. And a few years ago, he was one of the founders of Freedom Reads, creating prison libraries that fit into empty cells. He came up with the name because, as he put it, I believe in the idea that freedom begins with a book. He explains how, for people in prison, books are more than comfort or distraction. They offer possibilities, allowing people to imagine new lives for themselves outside of crime. He also believes reading creates empathy by letting people put themselves in someone else's shoes. Now, Freedom Reads has installed more than 500 libraries in prisons across the U.S. and placed an estimated 280,000 books in the hands of inmates. Still, Betts says there's a lot of work ahead. His goal is to have libraries in 20,000 prisons with millions of books available to the millions of people incarcerated around the country. Well, thank you so much for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow with our special edition Saturday episode, all about the ongoing impacts of the government shutdown and even more to know about travel and donations as we head into the holiday season. Then we'll have all the news you need to start the week on Monday. For now, have a great weekend.